Hi everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Your Best Work. If you don't remember, you missed the first 2 episodes. What we're doing here is giving our students, our instructors, our alumni an opportunity to show off what their best work is. What have they learned from Multimedia Makeup Academy? And again, like I did in episode 1, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Matthew Klink. I am running the marketing here at Multimedia Makeup Academy, and I thought the best way for you guys to get to know the academy is to actually see the work that you could work up to. So the best way to do that, we're going to show off another instructor's best work today. Also, graduate of Multimedia Makeup Academy. We've got Nicole Diehl today. Now you can find her right now. I'm going to suggest you wait till the video's over. But go over to Instagram and find her at Nicole Diehl. That's DIEHL94. All right, nailed it. Yeah, it's really easy to nail that stuff when you write it down right in front of you, but I'll just make sure I wrote it down right too. But find her on Instagram. That's going to be the best place. Actually, if you're even looking to book Nicole, we'll talk about the best place to find her a little bit later. But head over there, follow her. She's got some amazing work that we're going to talk about today, and some amazing work you can find on her Instagram account. Now, I might look to you now to make sure I'm getting the name of these movies right. That's Agramon's Gate. Yeah. Agramon's Gate, which is that Nicole is actually listed as a makeup artist on there, as well as makeup artist and special effects makeup artist on Betrayed, which came out in 2018, along with 15 other credits on IMDb. It just blew my mind when I came here and found out how many people have an IMDb account for their own work. Maybe you're listening to this, doesn't blow your mind. It certainly blew my mind. At least me being super jealous from that, I'll be honest there. No problem there. But those 15 credits is a lot of hard work, and it's one of the themes that we've been working through on Your Best Work. It's got to come through the passion that you feel of wanting to be a top makeup artist, but it's nonstop efforts to make sure that you're continuing to network, and we'll get into some of those questions with Nicole. But Nicole, why don't you come in? Hey everybody, say hi to Nicole. Here she is. Again, Nicole Diehl, our instructor. You're how many doors? You're 3 doors down, I think.
3 doors down.
Yeah. So we are in the media room. We introduced it in the first couple episodes. This is something that you would have access to. I have, of course. I'm filming on my phone right now. We have cameras all around here. So I wanted to get to know everybody from a more raw perspective.
Yeah,
why we
absolutely.
picked the phone. Yeah. But let's get to know Nicole a little bit better, and we'll start off by. I listed a couple IMDb credits, and there are a couple of movies that we're actually going to talk about in the show today. Yes. But tell us a little bit more about Nicole.
So, hi, I'm Nicole. So I didn't know what I wanted to do outside of high school. So as soon as I graduated, I had all these ideas, and then those all fell through. Yeah. And then I started watching the show Face Off on Sci-Fi, which is so sad that it's gone now, but it's fine. I'm not salty. But then I started researching because I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to do. And my parents were like, you've never touched makeup in your life? Like, you can't just say, yep, this is it. And I'm like, no, this is happening. We're doing this thing. Like, it's happening. So I started researching, and a lot of the places that were coming up were people's basements, just weird things. And then all of a sudden I found the school. And at the time we were at the old location, so we are now in our new location. So it's great to see the school build and grow since I've even been around. And I met Christina, and I kind of just stalked Christina for a while, and I'd come to all of the open houses, ask her all of these questions, and then she's like, so when are you gonna do this? Let's just do it. Let's figure it out, let's do it. So then I started going to school, and I've never left.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's great.
And that's what brings us together.
That's what brings us together today, yes.
What's funny too, you said Face Off, and I immediately pictured Nick Cage and John Travolta.
Nicolas Cage, that's what everyone says.
Yeah. And then you mentioned, then we're going into somebody's basement, and I was like, all right, now we're jumping into Silence of the Lambs here. So I've already got movies on the mind. Yes. So that's I guess that's a good part about that. So yeah, what are you doing now then? How would you define that instructor position for MMA?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2016, and then they ended up bringing me back as an instructor. So now I'm an instructor here, which I'm super excited about. But I teach some of the core classes, so makeup essentials, airbrush. I also teach some of the specialty classes for like body painting and some of the special effects classes. But yeah, I'm kind of just like here, there, and everywhere. I like to have my hands in all things makeup, so I'm super well-rounded.
And I'll say, if you guys can't feel the personality bursting through the camera right now, I mean, that is why it's like you never left. Like
Yes.
I think we've had an opportunity to speak. Let's put a number out. Let's say 5 times, right? But instantly it was like, okay, that's why you went from student to instructor, because nobody would want her to leave here. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So outside of being an instructor for MMA, I already mentioned a couple movies, but I guess for anybody who's watching right now and they might be wondering to themselves, like you saw through Face Off, like that's what I want to do. What is the best way to describe, like, what's that end game? Maybe not the end game for everybody, but what was your end game from, not from an instructor perspective, but from taking the makeup artist job to being a job?
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like a lot of the times it's when people start thinking about like doing makeup, for some reason people think that you can't make money doing makeup, which is like not true at all.
As I've been learning, everybody.
Yes.
We've if you're with me, if you're a newbie, you've been learning along with me. It was something I mentioned in episode 1 where I came here and did the interview, and I was learning that this was a career path, and that just made me, now I need to tell that story.
Yeah, for real.
But, yeah.
So like when I wanted to do makeup, I had like a couple people that were like, oh, you're never gonna make any money, but thank God I had like a good strong support system at home that were like, you can do this, like just do it. But definitely like my goal was to just work in like film. Like film is my world. Film people are my friends. Like I just like, you walk into a room of film people, you think it's crazy walking in here and seeing the community. If you walk into a group of filmmakers and like the film community, it's even crazier because it's just instant connections with everyone. And you just instantly become friends. But a lot of that is like networking, so like making sure that you're going to those networking events, talking to everybody, just being there and being like the person that they recognize. Like that's a huge thing. And then once you work on, like a lot of the stuff that I've done is I worked on a short film for MPI, and then I started mingling with all of the other crew members, and then from there it was word of mouth.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of stuff is now, is just word of mouth of getting like myself out there, and they're like, oh yeah, I've worked with Nicole, she's great, dude, like hire her.
So if you aren't paying attention, that's why I'm pointing at the screen. We've said this 3 straight shows now.
Yes.
Don't forget, there's passion involved. Yes, 1,000%. But there are a lot of people that are passionate. You've got to go that extra step.
Yes.
And what does that extra step get you? I am extremely excited to show you what Nicole and I have been discussing this morning about what her best work is, some of the people that she's been able to meet, some of the actors that I'll admit, I'm not going to jump into this and act like a know-it-all. I had to Google search because time is, sometimes gets the best of us. So as much as I considered myself an aficionado, I was humbled this morning. But you guys you're in for a treat with some of the things we're gonna show you today. But Nicole, I think the way I have this ordered here is that we're talking Betrayed first, and then we can talk what's coming out. Now, let me just ask this now. Since I have it listed as Agramond's Gate coming out in 2019, is this out now, or is that coming out later?
It's going to be coming out later. So they actually did a screener at a film festival at Motor City Nightmares on Saturday. So it was like brand new. So, but yeah, so they are in the works of planning a premiere, I guess. But yeah,
very cool.
So I don't know all the details, but I know it's going to be big. So
all right, we'll keep it chronological then. We'll jump back into 2018 and we'll talk about the cool actors that you're able to work with, and of course, the movie titled Betrayed.
Yes.
So the first thing that we're going to go over here is the Billy Wirth. So I'm going to point at it just so we're both on the same page.
Right.
So we're going to talk about that work with Billy Wirth, and what were we doing there? Like, what I know from a perspective of, like, you know, if we had the visual of, like, let's say some trauma or something, you know, we'd point to that and say this was him getting hit by a gunshot or something like that. But you know, what were some of the techniques that you went through working on Billy there?
So a lot of the stuff that I did on Betrayed, so I did a little bit of the effects work, but for the most part, I was in charge of all of, like, the beauty makeup on set. And everyone needs makeup. If you're on screen, you need makeup. So I was.
Guess who learned that this morning?
I know.
This guy. He's got makeup on right now.
A little bit, just some powder.
Right. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. As little as possible, really, is what happened. But yeah, like you said, everybody needs it.
Everybody needs it, even if it's just having someone on standby with some powder.
Yeah.
It'll help the cameras, help the lighting, all of that. So it just instantly makes, like, the project look better when everyone else looks better and not, like, shiny.
I thank my father for my massive forehead. That thing was pretty shiny, but that, you know, that's the instinct of a makeup artist. I just learned today was, nope, we are not filming until I fix this. But yeah, go ahead.
So so the photo is me doing makeup on Billy Wirth. So he's from, like, the Lost Boys, and it was really great. So he had a really big role in that film, and it was actually kind of crazy because he was put into the film, like, pretty last minute. They had to do, like, a switcheroo with talent, but he was, like, there, and, like, just seeing him, like, memorizing his lines while he was in my chair, and I was like, you are insane. Like,
that must have been an amazing experience.
Yes, it was really cool because it was, like, literally he got the script and then was on the plane to come here to do the film. So he just, like, he had his script out and he's reading the lines, and it was just it was a great experience.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
How about Richard Tyson? I mean, we're talking, when I pulled it up on IMDb, those are the top 2 actors listed on the page. So you are, I mean, you're in it. This isn't something where you can't.
Yes.
You can't screw up facts. Like, this is what Nicole was doing. Working with the top actors on these films.
Yes.
But yeah, go ahead. How was Richard?
He's great. He is a character. I've actually worked with him and Billy a couple times, along with a couple other,
That's
like
so
a
cool.
bunch of other people. But Richard is probably the funniest person that I've ever met. He wants to entertain the entire room at all times. He's just an entertainer. So it was like sometimes I'm like, okay, Richard, I need 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and you can go do whatever you need to do. But, like, I need 5 minutes just to get you done, and then you can go.
So he's not as evil as he portrayed in Kindergarten
absolutely
Cop.
not.
Okay.
He's, like, the exact opposite of most of his roles. Like, he plays these very intense roles,
so
and then I see him, and I see him in person, and I'm like, you are, like, a clown. Like, what is happening? But yeah, so I've worked with him on a bunch of stuff, and then he was actually on Love Immortal, which I couldn't give you any photos of because it was going to give away plot points, and we don't want any spoiler alerts here.
No spoiler. I mean, we are on the precipice of probably the biggest spoilery thing since we've all existed with Avengers coming out and Game of Thrones. While we're recording now, it was just... Well, I guess, it'll keep going for the next few weeks.
It will be.
Man, last night was big. But yeah, we respect the spoilery thing, so thank you very much.
Last thing I want to do is spoil the movie for you or anyone else.
See how human we are at Multimedia Makeup Academy? We care about spoilers.
We care about you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything in the, we'll say specifically on the work in Betrayal, what could an MMA student expect to see from anything you did there? Are they going to be able to learn those techniques here at the school?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, a little backstory about the movie Betrayed. It's about human trafficking, which is, like, a huge problem that is happening, and it's scary. Yeah. So this was kind of like our way of bringing light to those situations, and, like, kind of showing people, like, what happens in those situations. So it's very emotional, it's very action-packed, but we had a lot of, like, kind of disturbing things that we had to recreate on the talent. So it's definitely, like, we did a lot of beauty makeup, but at the end of the day too, like, we had to do a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily the best. Like there was days that I was in the corner crying, like listening to them, because it like was really, really intense. But just like knowing how to do makeup for film, going through special effects definitely helps. But just knowing like also how to like act on set, like set etiquette, and I feel like that's a big thing that like other artists that I have been around or worked with that aren't from the academy are kind of like they don't really understand. And like there's a certain way to talk to a talent, there's a certain way to act on set, like that kind of stuff is like a huge thing that you learn from here. That follows you onto set. And then of course like sanitation. Like
huge here.
We
Obviously,
preach sanitation.
Checking out sanitation conversation.
But I've been on like I've seen it all, and especially in like a film aspect, you have to work really fast to get the job done. And I feel like sometimes sanitation is kind of forgotten, and then like, well, I just have to do this really quick. I'm like, no. We're gonna go back.
Not.
We are gonna clean everything. We're gonna do what we need to do so that they aren't, they're protected and they're not like passing cooties from one person to the other.
We've got to take care of Billy and Richard.
Yes, like, come on.
Yeah, they've got other films. No, but that's, I mean, I'm joking and I laugh, but I mean, that's the thing. Their faces are in your hands, literally. But that's, I love that you mentioned that, because what's funny is my head goes into what are the makeup techniques you can learn here, but that's the thing that really sets MMA apart, is how important it is for us to make sure that you are a professional once you're on the job site, but then you gotta be clean. Like, and that's something too that from the get-go, once I started working here, that was something that before I started picking up any of the verbiage or anything like that, I mean, they were showing me the facilities where they start teaching you how to properly clean everything. So, I mean, it's something that I think ultimately sets this academy apart from anything else that I've had to look into or research, and especially with how you guys, you come into the job, and that's the thing that you're thinking about. We've got these amazing stories to tell about, working with celebrities, but that's the thing that goes through your head, and I love that. I love that. That's the thought. It's like, no, we still got to focus on networking, professionalism, cleanliness.
And it's crazy because like once I'm in the chair, like a lot of the times it's like they're asking me like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? Like when I'm pulling out my palette and depotting things, and I'm like, this is how this is done. And they're like, I've never seen that before. And I'm like, oh, well, this is how it should be.
Right, exactly.
And especially with like the local...
You're getting it now.
Yeah, the local talent. I'm like, okay, so if this is not happening, say something. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's like, you guys are the ones in front of the camera. If something goes wrong because the makeup artist isn't clean, like, you're screwed.
And I will confess too, like, we did not plan this conversation.
Yes, we did not.
This is what happened organically. Yeah, exactly. So we're not planting this. It's fantastic that you did it, because now we can just check some boxes off.
Yes.
But no, that's how important it should be.
Yes.
But yeah, let's talk.